Hello, good day, and welcome to the Euromoney live stream. Today's live stream is part of our Saudi housing finance series, and I'm very pleased to be able to welcome to the show Mansour bin Madi. Mr. Mansour bin Madi is the Chief Executive Officer and Deputy Chairman of the Board of the Real Estate Development Fund, otherwise known as REDF, in Saudi Arabia, and he's been in this position since October 2019. Mr. Mansour is the chairman of the investment committee of REDF and a board member of the National Housing Company. He has extensive experience in both the public and private sectors, with over 28 years working in the Saudi banking sector. Mansour, it's a very good day to you.
Hi, Richard. It's always great and pleasure to be with you.
It's a frosty morning when we're recording this here in the UK. I think I'd rather be in Riyadh, where I imagine things are a little bit more clement.
Yeah, please do. I mean, we're enjoying the sunny weather here, and it's fantastic nowadays.
Yeah, you make me very jealous. Good. Well, it's great to have you here. So let's start by talking a little bit about REDF and where you've come from. And I think the pivotal moment is in 2017, REDF decided to change its model for supporting citizens as they financed their first home. Could you just tell us a little bit about why this, what prompted this change and why it was needed?
That is a good question to start with, Richard. Let me start with the challenges that we faced in the old system during 2016 and 17. By taking a snapshot of the situation during those 2 years, there were 3 challenges. Number one, a long waiting list, which had reached around 510,000 citizens waiting in the queue. The second challenge was the average waiting period was ranging between 12 to 15 years for a citizen to take a loan. The average capacity of the whole system was 20,000 citizens per year. If we look at the mandate of the 2030 vision on the housing program, was to reach 60% home ownership by the end of 2020. And if we continued with the old system, we would need around 25 years to accommodate the whole waiting list. And that's impossible. We needed to find ways and means to accommodate this waiting list in 3 years instead of 25 years. See the scale here?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hence, we had to revamp the whole system to come up with a new model, and we called it Mad'oom, and that's an Arabic word. Mad'oom means subsidized. And we needed to change from direct lending to indirect lending to accommodate the waiting list, as we mentioned, and to reach the mandate of 60% home ownership by end of 2020.
So the main change that you made was a migration from a direct lending to an indirect lending model. What does that mean in practice? Okay,
direct, it's obvious that REDF lends the citizen directly using its own capital. Indirect means a principal loan amount will be given by banks and financing companies. REDF will only subsidize the profit. So in the direct, we have one-to-one relationship between the citizen and REDF. In the indirect, we have 3 relationship between banks, beneficiary, and REDF.
When you say profit, of course, the mortgages you're talking about are Sharia compliant. So in our sort of world, that would be you're subsidizing the interest rather than the principal.
Absolutely. Yes.
I just wanted to make sure we understood that because
we have established, Richard, a strategic relationship with those 18 lenders, banks and financing companies. The reason is to leverage on their resources and operational capacity, and this is to help meeting the demand and the mandate.
Now, you and I both, I mean, you have even more experience than I have in finance. I think you beat me by 3 years. Of course, I was in financial media for 25 years. But we both know that change doesn't come easy, even in the best of times. So what measures did you have to take at REDF to ensure that the change that was so necessary, as you've outlined, was successful?
Yeah, Richard, as you are aware, any changes would have its own challenges. Therefore, we had to work hard along with our partners in the financing sector to build the citizens' trust and confidence on the new model. And thank God, after the citizens have seen the Mad'oom performance, the confidence started to build up over time, and it was restored in a very reasonable time. And that was really a challenge that we have achieved, and we have made a lot of effort to reach towards it. We ensured the right governance and regulations are in place as well. And here, by the way, I would like to thank SAMA, our central bank, for their support and cooperation on this front. Also, I would like to thank our housing minister, Mr. Madi Al-Hogail, for his unlimited and continuous support, again, on this front. Also, we had put a lot of focus on digitalization, Richard. We have come up with a platform which is called Real Estate Advisory System, and in Arabic, Al-Mustashar Al-Aqari. By the way, this platform integrates REDF with 18 lenders to facilitate and ease the citizen journey end to end, from the inception to the conclusion, up to signing the contract. It is all fully digitalized and automated, easy to be tracked and easy to be measured. Also, we have revamped our branches and make them all equipped with the right setup and systems to serve the citizens better and faster. We have introduced international measures to gauge the customer satisfaction, like CSI and MPS.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Richard, we created a full-fledged call center to handle inbound and outbound calls to facilitate citizens' needs and inquiries, and that helped a lot, seriously helped a lot to make sure that things are passed correctly to the citizen in terms of awareness and educational through campaigns using the call center to explain the new model and to explain the product's offering as well.
Those are all extremely impressive outcomes, and of course, you know that I've been working with REDF and for many years before, in fact, the big change in 2017. So I've seen this incredible transformation in the organization. Many of the things that you talk about, putting the customer at the center, which was alien before, and that's that is nothing short of incredible, and you have my enormous respect for doing that. However, those are all good, but the really important thing is the outcome. So you've been running this system for a couple of years now. What have the results been to the beneficiaries? I mean, what are the numbers in terms of growth in mortgage contracts, getting people into new homes? That's the key metric. What is it?
Yeah, here comes the most interesting part. We talked, if you recall, about why we changed and what was the changes and what was the steps or the measures that we took. And here I would like to shed some lights on the results. If you recall, the waiting list or the backlog, that was because of the approval cycle, which takes 12 to 15 years, as we mentioned. Today, Richard, the eligibility approval becomes instant on the spot. So no waiting time at all. And the 510,000 citizens in the waiting list have been all given an approval. So again, no waiting list anymore. One more point I want to really stress on it. The capacity that we talked about, the capacity becomes 20,000 contracts per month compared to 20,000 per year in 2017. that is real tangible achievement and a big jump, Richard.
So the backlog has completely cleared. The one that we said at the beginning might take 25 years at the old rate, that's all gone, yes?
Yeah, from approval point of view, yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And now you're doing around 20,000 new mortgage contracts every month.
Yeah, 20,000 contract per month compared to 20,000 per year. That's really a big.
It won't have escaped your notice, Mansour, that we've had this pandemic going on. Did that have any effect on the applications for this year?
During the pandemic, we managed through our robust infrastructure, Richard, to continue our business and have contracts signed during a total lockdown, and that was really good and great effort from my team in REDF, where we managed the situation in a fantastic way. And I need to continue with the results as well, if you allow me, Richard.
Please.
Yeah, we have provided support to more than 340,000 Saudi families in less than 3 years. And the new system subsidized or up to 100% of home loan profit. One more point I want to mention about, there are certain segments of citizens which are not preferred by banks due to either age or low income or their employer. We had interfered to enable them to be accepted by banks through our guarantee program. I guess we have extended guarantees to more than 70,000 plus families. And that was really one of the things that really paved the way for the model to really take a good shape.
So it's spread, your services are spread around quite a wide spectrum of Saudi society. It's not just one particular group. It's a much broader thing than that. So I know you made many changes. Just to recap, we made many changes within REDF. That has produced. It's very good to hear. A real quantum leap within the mortgage market in Saudi Arabia. But what's been the impact on the sort of wider housing program and the home financing market, as a whole, from a sort of strategic perspective?
Yeah, obviously for the housing program, the target of 60% home ownership by the end of 2020 was achieved. And by the way, Richard, it used to be 47% in 2017.
And the target is what, 60%, I think you said, is that 60% right?
60% home ownership by end of 2020. Also, Richard, we have pumped in more than 24 billion Saudi riyal over the past 3 years to subsidize the profit on the mortgages given to citizens. Mm-hmm. And that is really a huge amount. The home financing market have grown around 300% from 2017 compared to 2019. So the growth is really 300%, which is a big jump.
Huge, yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that another of the Vision 2030 targets was the size of the outstanding mortgage market. Has that also been, which if I remember, and I could be doing wrong, if you translate it to dollars, is about $135 billion, up from $75 billion to $135 billion. Our numbers seem to say that has been achieved. Do your numbers say the same thing?
Yes.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Also, along with our strategic partners in banks and SRC, the interest rate reached a satisfactory level, which helps the market to grow and the citizen to be more comfortable. Mm-hmm. Something worth mentioning.
Yeah, so I mean, there is a variety of different impacts there. So I think, we can say that the last 3 years of REDF, the housing program, and this initiative to get more and more Saudis to own their own houses has been, according to the numbers we see, successful. But maybe you've just been through the easy bit. So what are your priorities now, from now on? what do we have to look forward to? What's next for REDF?
Yeah, that's a good question, Richard. I mean, we will focus on financial sustainability. We will improve upon our collection services and maximize our investment, for which it will help us to accommodate the demand of the new generation in the years to come. We will strengthen more on the digital infrastructure and strive to make the citizen experience easy end to end, especially that we learned as we talked about COVID-19. We learned the continuity of business and how important it is to any business. And thank God we managed during that time, as we mentioned, during the total lockdown, to continue signing up contracts with citizens with the help of our partners in the bank and the financing companies. We will expand the reach of our financing programs to all of our citizens in every corner of our beloved Saudi Arabia. Also, Richard, going forward, we will focus more on the quality, not the quantity only. And we will strive always for customer satisfaction and citizen satisfaction. And more innovation, actually, in terms of new products and solutions will be there. And I believe that always the improvement should be a journey and not a destination.
Well, it's good to hear that. Just before we bring this to a close, you had very clear targets for 2030, 60%. That was the number. 60% of Saudis should own their own home. Are there targets for the next phases of the project?
Yes, we're supposed to reach 70% by the end of 2030, and we will be working on that challenge in the years to come. And
of course, it's 70% of a population which is still, which is forecast to grow by, a considerable amount. I mean, Saudi has a very young population, does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not, you're not slowing the pace of growth, really.
No.
It's another 10%, but of a much larger market. So there's still a lot to do and a lot to look forward to from the international perspective. I think we've sort of covered a lot of the ground. We don't want to go on too long today. So I think as far as I'm concerned, we can draw the interview to a close. I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time to join us. I'd like to thank you for being a supporter of this series that we're doing on Saudi housing finance, and of course also thank the ministry and the sponsors who have made it happen. So it's been great to talk to you today, Mansour.
Richard, if you allow me, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the custodian of the two holy mosques, His Majesty King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince, on the success of the G20 summit, which reflects the strong position and the importance of Saudi Arabia for the world economy and development. Also, thank you, Richard, for giving me this opportunity. It was great being with you, and I trust to see you in Riyadh in person next time. I wanted to enjoy weather of Riyadh.
I would just to respond to that quickly. Yeah, I mean, I'm very fond of Riyadh. I love Saudi Arabia. I haven't been since January. I'm looking forward to coming back just as soon as I can. Inshallah, this coming January. I also want to just comment on the G20. I think, listen, it's a fantastic thing for the G20, for Saudi, and for everybody that the kingdom has been president, or the king has been president of the G20 this year. It's a pity, obviously, that it took place in a year of pandemic, but to have an Arab nation, to have Saudi Arabia playing a role there, I think is great for the kingdom, and it's great for the world. So my congratulations to the kingdom as well for that. So Mansour, thank you again for joining us. It's been great. For those of you who want more information on REDF, please go to the REDF website, which is redf.gov.sa, or you can go via our website where we will soon be publishing our own independent report on the development of the Saudi housing finance market. I wrote it. So I'm going to say it's good, but I'll leave that up to everyone else to judge. So Mansour, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
And our audience, thank you and good day.